Hey guys, welcome back. So, today's video, I thought I would talk about one of my favorite fragrances. Bottega Veneta por Homme. So, um, I believe this is like, uh, one of those fragrances, one of the first fragrances that I bought in my fragrance journey about a couple of years, or 2020, I believe. Mm, like the second or third fragrance that I bought. Actually, yeah, from the title of the video, you probably understand what I'm going to say, but I would still say it. One of, it's probably one of the best leather fragrances that um, what do you call it? I've tried, I've smelled. So what I like about this fragrance, it doesn't smell like your typical leather fragrance. Say, for example, you have these fragrances, right? That smell like leather, like a shoe or some kind of a car seat or some kind of a leather jacket or whatever. So this is not that kind of a fragrance, not that kind of a leather. I have that kind of leathers, but I'm not a big fan of such leather fragrances because I mean, see, to me, a leather fragrance, I just don't like leather fragrance because it smells like leather. It's not just that. Hey, I mean, what's the point of having a fragrance that smells like leather, expensive leather, whatever it may be? Like, I don't see a point. It's not wearable for me. In my opinion, I wouldn't wear, like, say for example, Tuscan leather or something like that. What are you trying to? What are you trying to express? It's you express your personality through fragrances, right? At least, like, to me. So if you're just wearing a fragrance that smells like leather, what is your point? That I don't get that. I know people like go crazy about Tuscan leather and whatnot, but I've tried Tuscan leather. It smells like leather. I mean, it smells like leather. Why would I want to smell like leather? Is my question. So I always gravitate towards fragrances that have leather, but that have a bit more nuance and a bit more character to it. Um, I'll maybe tell you the leather fragrances that I have. So I have Yves Saint Laurent's Queer. That's that niche from the niche line, Le Vestiaire collection. That is a beautiful leather fragrance because it's not just about leather. It's much more than that, I believe. Has a bit of vanilla and something else. It has a lot more going on than just leather. Like if I just want to smell like leather, I would probably buy a jacket or maybe buy an so when you go out, you either wear a jacket and you wear shoes and you obviously like have things that can replace your fragrance because your leather jacket is obviously going to smell like leather. Why would I need another fragrance? That's something I'll never understand. But That's not the point of this video. So that is one of the leather fragrances that I have, Yves Saint Laurent Square. And there's another fragrance by Hermes. It's called Belle Ami Vetiver. Again, that leather is another type of leather. It's a different kind of leather. It has this beautiful vetiver nuance to it in the dry down. Though in the opening it smells just like leather. And what other leather fragrances do I have, man? I'm not able to recall. But I've tried ombre leather, Tuscan leather. Ombre leather also smells like leather. That's the reason I didn't buy it. But this leather is a beautiful leather. It's a fresh leather, and it's a green leather. Unlike probably it's one of a kind. I don't think I have I don't think there's any fragrance, a leather fragrance in the market that smells like Bottega Veneta Pour Homme. I don't think so. And not many people talk about this fragrance. There, I believe there's Justin Copeland who um, talks about this fragrance a lot. But I believe he talks about the perform version of it. I don't have the perform version. I need to buy it. The only issue with this fragrance is longevity. It's not doesn't last that long. That's one drawback to this fragrance, but it smells amazing. How does it smell exactly? If it basically smells like tree sap and leather. That's the only thing that I can think of. Smells very green, and the green is very tree sappy. It smells just like a tree sap. Don't even recall how tree sap smells. I think tree sap smells a bit green. I mean, if you not smell tree sap, you can think of it as like a coniferous leather. Because in the note breakdown, I see that's what I see. You have Siberian pine, juniper, and Canadian fir, and these three are the notes. I don't know which of these is giving that greenness to the fragrance. It's a very green leather, but it can be worn throughout the year. That's the beauty of it. It's fresh. It's a fresh fragrance. It's not a dark fragrance. In fact, there's this description that I see on Fragrantica. It's there on the Bottega Veneta fragrance page as well. I believe this is what it says. My idea was based on the journey of a man leaving region Veneto towards the north to the Dolomites. He reserves time from his full urban timetable to spend days in a mountain house with icy cold breeze coming from the forest. So that's exactly how it smells like. And it's amazing. So it's a very an adventurous man's fragrance, if you can say, like a mountaineer's fragrance. So it's that kind of fragrance. It's a very manly fragrance, but it doesn't smell old. It doesn't smell outdated or anything like that. It has a certain upscale kind of smell about it. And yeah, that's all I can think of. It's not a typical leather. It's a very unique leather. And as I said, I don't think there's any other leather fragrance that smells like Bottega Veneta por Homme. I've seen many videos where they point out that this smells like a typical 80s fragrance. I have tried 80s fragrances, but they don't like they smell green. I agree, they smell piney and all that, but the leather, it takes it to it adds a completely different dimension to this fragrance, so it doesn't smell like an 80s or 70s fragrance at all. I understand what they mean when they say it smells like a modern 80s fragrance. You can call this a modern fragrance with an 80s twist. That would be like reasonable, because this leather, right, it adds a bit of a sophistication to to an otherwise bland piney fragrance, you know what I mean. So you if a fragrance smells like pine or something like that, you would by default say, okay, this smells like an 80s fragrance. But that's you cannot reduce Bottega Veneta Pour Homme to that. It's not just that. It has something more, is what I'm trying to say. And it's a very modern interpretation of pine, and it's a very unique interpretation of leather, and it's a yeah, and that's why I'm saying it's probably the best leather fragrance you've never heard of, or you may have heard of, but it's not discussed as much as other leather fragrances in the Fracom. So I thought I would put out this video. So the the perfumers are Antoine Maison and Daniela Andrea, and yeah. Well, let me see what other fragrances smell like it in the reminds me of section. So I can see Russian leather. I've tried that, but I don't think it smells like it. Uh, there's what else? We have mentioned Italian Cypress by Tom Ford. I've not tried that, so I don't know. There's a bunch of other fragrances. They mentioned Bellamy as well. I've never tried Bellamy. Maybe I should try. I have Bellamy Vetiver, not Bellamy. So this is I'll just read out some of the comments so that you guys have an idea of what the Fracom think of it. So Kalram R says it's okay, tons of juniper, some generic green woods, and a whole lot of leather in the base. It's safe and smells fine, if not particularly interesting, might be a good office scent. Okay. There's another comment from Lalika. It says Bottega Veneta Pour Homme really mature due to a heavy juniper note. The scent is woody spicy. 5 out of 10. Okay. There's another comment that says this is amazing. Timeless classic scent in a mature way. I had 5 sprays in my neck and t-shirt. I had no issue about the performance. Trust me, it's a great fragrance. I was thinking the fragrance is designed not for a beast mode, but it gives a soft touch, airy, aromatic leather. And I got a dried vetiver that dried out. I don't know where it comes from, so it's so manly blended. I agree to that comment. It's masculine without overpowering. Safe but still manages unique quality. Open with a piney forest scent and a burst of juniper and bergamot, followed by aromatic notes from sage and a little bit spicy from pimento, and build up to a dry run of handsome combination of greenish labdanum, warm patchouli, right amount of leather in an immense woody nose or nuance. Italian brand puts its DNA by adding detail of leather at the bottleneck and weaving pattern that exclusive to the brand. Blah blah blah. I agree. Smells like Haribo cola candy in the opening. I have no idea what that is. Then it becomes green and coniferous. I don't get any leather from this. When the cola fades, it reminds me, to my surprise, strongly of Acqua di Gio Profumo. Wow. It doesn't smell anything like Acqua di Gio Profumo. So Acqua di Gio Profumo smells like eucalyptus and sea. Eucalyptus and sea. Like if there is like a eucalyptus tree close to a sea, and you can smell the air in that area, that's how Acqua di Gio Profumo would smell like. Black suede boots in a cold autumn forest. That is a very beautiful description of this fragrance. It's a cold, bitter leather plus forest scent, pine needles, junipers, and all. It's classy, masculine, introvert or introvert. I would definitely agree to that. It may not be an introvert, but like a bit reserved, you can say. It's definitely some kind of a reserved fragrance because I'm a very reserved personality. I would definitely call this a bit of a reserved personality's fragrance. Old money and would even create a slightly intimidating leader aura if it was heavier. Definitely agree to that. As is, it's a skin scent even when sprayed heavy. That yes, it's not the performance, as I said, is not that good. This is nice, understated in a good way, and very unlike the current fragrance mainstream. 100%. It's nothing like your typical fragrance that you have in the mainstream fragcom. It's a very unique fragrance. I already mentioned it's a unique fragrance. um, okay, so it's the ultimate barbershop style fragrance with a slight Coca-Cola vibe. What? I don't get any Coca-Cola. Okay. This is what old aristocracy smells like. Okay. I don't know what aristocracy smells like, but if this is what it is, then it's what it is. Mm-mm-mm. A great cologne, it's definitely a sweet leather. Sweet leather, I would. There's a little bit of sweetness, but I wouldn't call it a sweet fragrance. It's more green than it's sweet. But there's definitely a little bit of sweetness. It's not a very tart or it's not a very what do you call that? Yeah, it's not like the greenness is not like tart or anything. There's definitely some sweetness, but I think that sweetness probably comes from the balsamic notes. Maybe I don't know where the sweetness comes from. Like probably from the fir or labdanum, maybe labdanum. That's the kind of sweetness. Because I have not tried labdanum, but I watched a video of the perfume guy discuss it. It's this resinous kind of a sweetness is what I'm trying to say. So it has a sweetness, but it's more green than it's sweet. All right, I think should be enough for this video. It's almost 20 minutes. Thanks a lot, guys, for watching. Bye bye.